You're watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Road
Break. How's every single you family? Thank you for being with us one more time, and we're going to be talking about NXT UK, the show that is most out of all the WWE shows is the one that has more logic, is the most better storytelling that we have here. And this time kind of was like a average NXT UK, but of course they tried to give them better storylines. So we're gonna give it a buy. We're gonna give it a pass just because it wasn't amazing, but still way better than Raw and SmackDown. It's so easy not to fall on that, Paul.
Yeah, I always like NXT UK each and every week. We, like you said, we always praise it the best show in WWE television, and this week was no exception. Again, kind of like last week, maybe I would have booked things a little different. Some of the outcomes, some of the matches, the way that they were done. But overall, I thought this was a really good show. I liked a lot, most of the segments. Like you said, one of the highlights was the sit-down interview with A-Kid and our new NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov. So, this was some good stuff here we saw in this hour of NXT UK. So, let's get into it.
So, we're going to break it down. Thank you so very much. Before we do that, don't forget to watch the AEW Dynamite. Thank you to everyone that is watching also. we appreciate the support. A lot of people are upset, and rightfully so, because Sammy Guevara is the brand new TNT champion, and he beats Miro and all of that. He's going to be defending against Bobby Fish. We already mentioned that we're one of the first ones to say that. But also we got to see Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole against Jungle Boy. Really good matches, right?
Yeah, like we said, the show started off hot, kind of fell off from there. The segments, the rest of the show, a lot of forgettable stuff. Anna Jay and Ty Conti versus the Bunny, Penelope Ford. I could really care less about that. But, the main event here causing a lot of news. They're high on Sammy. They wanted to put the belt on him. But we just got to really see what they do with Miro. That's the main thing, is what do you do with him? And hopefully he doesn't just, fade away into obscurity.
Yeah, it was going to be, difficult to see what they do, but that's AEW. Right now we're NXT UK. So the show started out with Mustache Mountain. They went against, Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. They had that storyline last week. They were saying, hey, it was the best tag team, and we got to see Trent Seven kind of yeah, we can go against each other, see how it is, and we're going to beat you guys. So what do you think of the match? Mustache Mountain is good, but we don't want to see, at least on my end, I don't want to see Mustache Mountain anymore. I want to see the feud between Trent Seven and Tyler Bate.
Yeah, I would really like to see that feud. Hopefully it's just a non-title grudge match, because with a promo we saw later on in the show, I hope Noam Dar is going to be the new Heritage Cup champion sooner rather than later. But no, this match here was really good. Smith and Carter are super talented. To me, I can see these guys easily being future tag champs. They had a great showing here against Mustache Mountain. This match went, 15 minutes? And
around 15 minutes.
Yeah, some really good action. You almost believed that a couple times that Smith and Carter were going to win this thing. I thought Trent Seven looked good in this too. Obviously, Tyler Bate looked good. All four of these guys really look good, and I enjoyed this match. Just obviously, I forget if it was Smith or Carter. I think it was Carter, who, when he did Tyler Bate, he did the suplex off the ropes where he grabbed him and pulled him in. That was impressive, and just lots of good stuff in this match. The Emerald Frozen, but he kicked out of that from Trent Seven, and big combination move to put him away, and it was a good start to the show. Really, again, Mustache Mountain, they took these guys and said, hey, they can hang with us. So they're the real deal. Yeah,
no, it was good start of the show, like you said, and Trent Seven and Tyler Bate did a combination move also to get the win. They've been I think Ashton Smith. That was cool. We'll see what happens with them. We got to see also Dave Mastiffs and Jack Starsky. They were kind of a promo. They were just talking about how they have their feud with Symbiosis, but then Nina Samuels, she has a show, so she's interviewing them, and then she has a question, and rather talk about what they're talking about, then she's well, who's been bothering me? Blair Davenport. Or she keeps talking about their own issues. It's you know what, whatever. Get the hell out of here. We don't care. So that was that was the beginning of the show. But let's go to Xia Brookside and also Danny Luna. Remember another one that they featured the storyline last week. They bring it back today to fruition. Pretty decent match. Good showing for both girls. Danny Luna the most powerful out of the two, and then it seems to me that Xia Brookside is calling, or is the star going to develop in a new character.
Yeah, that's the one thing. we said she's like the lovable underdog babyface, but unless you really capitalize on that and push her and she wins it all, you're going to have to, change, because you can't be that underdog babyface forever. You're eventually going to get frustrated, going to get pissed off. That's kind of what we saw in this match.
Exactly.
Xia Brookside, she had a lot of offense. She was trying to, get the advantage here, win this thing, but Dani Luna just shut her down, with her, power and her strength over Xia Brookside. And, she got the big win here, big, like, power bomb, 1, 2, 3. And, we saw after the match, Dani Luna went to, because they're both baby faces.
Let me show you this without this so that they can
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
she tried to shake her hand, and she kind of just like smacked her hand away, rolled out of the ring. She was really pissed off, and like you said, the character change. And if that's so, I mean, I'm fine with it. I think she needs it. She needs to have that intensity, especially if she's gonna have a title match against Meiko Satomura or somebody like that.
That would be cool, yeah, like you said, like it's gonna be a new resurgence. They need a new beginning for like Xia Brookside, but in the end, Dani Luna from Subculture, she gets the win, and is a good thing also for her, because maybe we can see another feud, maybe with like Jeannie, Isla Dawn, maybe something that they can help her out to like go and challenge for Meiko Satomura for the NXT UK Women's Championship. We'll see what happens. But like we're talking about Blair Davenport, because like their situation, her status is still in the limbo. Her still up in the air. Like a lot of people are saying, hey, reinstate her, or she says reinstate me, or otherwise we're gonna just keep seeing chaos, and I'm just gonna be doing more of my shenanigans. But then also Stevie Turner says to Sid Scala, hey, you need to reinstate her because she attacked me. I'm gonna shut her down. I'm gonna take care of her, and that way you won't have to worry about her anymore. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is good, and, Sid, he's just like, okay, I'll think about it, and, I mean, this is a way to get her back in. I mean, a weird storyline that they took her out just to bring her back in, and nothing really happened with it, but, I mean, hey, I don't know. It was what it was. Maybe it's trying to just get attention for her. I just thought it was weird.
That's the thing. I don't understand that either. Get her out to get her in.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but we'll have to see what they do. Like we said, it's one of the head scratching things.
Exactly, that's one of the biggest one that like we have ever since the return. But like with the end result is what really matters. So we'll see what really they do on NXT UK when it comes to that particular storyline. Then we have to see Sam Gradwell. He's feuding with Mark Andrews. He says he doesn't like him, like he pretends that he's one of the founding fathers of NXT UK while he is the one. And then Mark Andrews attacks him like with the skater that he has. So like they see back and forth between these two. And the only positive thing about this, because the feud is weak for me, but at least they have some TV time and also like a chance for Gradwell to get a win. Because Mark Andrews really as a singles guy, maybe not much believable, but as a tag, that's when he really like flourishes.
Yeah, I feel like, the group of Subculture, it was kind of good for all three of them because they're featured together, but I think Andrews and Webster were more over and popular when it was just the two of them, when they were the tag team champs, when they first kind of, hit the scene. And, here at Subculture, I feel like, they haven't really capitalized on this group. And, like I said, we're seeing a lot of singles matches and all this stuff instead of tag. And I don't know. I mean, I still see him putting Mark Andrews over. I'd love to see Gradwell go over, especially because him and Ilya have history. Maybe we see him going after Ilya again, something like that. Just for a throwaway, title match. Okay, here's a defense, whatever. No big program out of it, but I don't know. Like I said, I think they're going to put Mark Andrews over at the end. So
yeah, I really hope that actually they do, Gradwell, just because like you said, like he's a singles guy, he needs that kind of type of wins. Gets a few wins under your belt. Maybe you can challenge right now whoever wins the Heritage Cup or whoever's like #1 contender. You need something, but before you get to that something, you need to start building from scratch, and that's unfortunately the problem. Like talking about beginnings, there you go. Let's talk about Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal. A lot of expectations. I mean, the gear and everything, pretty old school wrestling, right? No even like tape around it, no wristbands, just pretty much the trunks, and that's it. Showing like the balls, all of that. And he went against Josh Morrell. But what did you think overall? For me, the guy had pretty good wrestling, but it's like he was really sticking to the classical professional wrestling, like holds, isolating, the arms, the legs, all of that. But Josh Morrell actually had a great showing also. So I don't know if it was what I thought it was going to be for Charlie Dempsey.
Yeah, I mean Dempsey was great. And we've been saying Morrell is really good too. And I thought, okay, this is going to be something 3 minutes and done. But no, I mean this went at least 7-8 minutes, and it was pretty evenly contested. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, we saw the armbar here. I thought that was going to be the end. No, he got out of it. He kept fighting, and eventually, it kept going. Morrell, he looked really good too, but it took almost like he had like the knee, and he was pulling that up, and then he had the arm wrapped around the neck, and then he kind of just like was pretty much turning him into a pretzel almost. I don't even know how you describe it.
This whole is legit though.
Yeah. That's the one right there. How he won the thing. I mean, he really was stretching this guy, and I mean, but that should have came the first 3 minutes. The match went too long to try to get this guy over. I mean, Nigel was selling him good. He's like, oh, he's like one of the greats, like so and like this guy, like that guy, like William Regal. And it's like, yeah, because of course you can't just call him, Regal like Rick Steiner. He can't be a Rex Steiner. He can't be Rex.
And the one thing is that you don't have like beef with like William Regal. He works in the company still, so I don't know why you have to change the name and everything. To me, I would much rather like the Regal stretch. If he uses that from the father, like he uses like the Regal Carter, but I guess he wants to probably stay away. From like everything that is related to William Regal. But like you said, in the end, he gets the win. A pretty weird, but at the same time new. And even like they were saying on commentary, refreshing, like new submission hold. He gets the win. I'm looking forward to see this against Pete Dunne. Hopefully like who can stretch the better and all of that. But he says he has a lot of schools, even like he said Timothy Thatcher, because we don't see him on NXT 2.0 anymore. So like I said, great showing, but Josh Morrell also looked good on this. And I don't know if the intention was for both to look good. But there you go. That's something to pick up upon. And now, Paul, let's talk about this. Like you said, like the sit down or like a face-to-face between A-Kid. He won the #1 contender last week against Rampage Brown and also like Nathan Frazier. And now pretty good, the conversation between the two and see how cool they are, how together everything is composed, everything's nice. And, A-Kid kind of saying, hey, I'm going to take away, I want to give my advantage when you get angry, because when you get angry, you lose it. But then Neil just says, hey, this is not all about like, my passion, my skill or anything. Is that you're going to have to pretty much kill me. This title is way more than just to be a professional wrestler. So I like the, the war of words between the two.
Yeah, A-Kid tried to compare the two of them, and, he's like, oh, I know how it is to fight Walter, blah, blah, blah. And then A-Kid's like, no, you don't. He's like, I'm the one who not A-Kid, excuse me, Dragunov's like, no, you don't. He's like, I'm the one who beat Walter. I'm the one who, and he's like, I pretty much had to survive him the first time. And, the second time I beat him, like, he's like, you don't know what that's like. You didn't do it. And pretty much, like, don't compare him. He says, like, A-Kid's cocky. And like I said, then A-Kid said, oh, well, when you get angry, that's when I'll strike, all this stuff. And he's just like, I'm a czar. And at the end of the day, you're just a kid.
That was great. That was great.
I mean, I know, but then they shook hands, but you saw the fire from Dragunov. I mean, a good promo by A-Kid, but does anybody think Dragunov is going to lose the title here? No, absolutely not.
And that's the thing, though. That's the biggest flaw in when it comes to disputes, because we know he just won the championship first. Second of all, it's going to be in 2 weeks. I mean, if you maybe build it for a month, 2 months, you wouldn't even say that, because nobody will lose the title in the first defense nowadays. In the modern day wrestling, you won't do that. So Ilya Dragunov is going to retain, but hopefully it's a good match. And that's maybe something for A-Kid, like you said, maybe to go to the main roster. Something like that it could be, really good. And we'll see what happens. I agree with you. There you go. We can go to the picture one more time. And that is something that at least NXT UK has, guys. Because after that, for example, even Charlie Dempsey at some point can be a challenger. It can be also Joe Coffey. It can be Jordan Devlin. All of these guys. But before that, Paul, let's go to what's going to happen next week. It's going to be the final of the Heritage Cup #1 Contender Tournament. And, good promos from Wolfgang and also Noam Dar. Wolfgang pretty much saying, I care about the heritage. Everybody that has been holding this, the Regals, the Finleys, the Johnny Saint. Noam Dar is more like, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm the guy. I'm 28 and I'm really a veteran. I keep learning, keep getting better. So this is going to be good, but Noam Dar, please, needs to win.
Oh, yeah, Noam Dar. He has to win this thing, like we said. He's one of those guys who, he's been a pillar here in this brand. He's been one of the absolute best talkers, wrestlers, just all around, guys on this roster, and he hasn't held gold. And that feels like a shame, so to me, he needs to win this Heritage Cup. And I mean, we'll see. You know what they do. I mean, we shouldn't put the cart before the horse because he has to beat Wolfgang before he can beat Tyler Bate. But I'm looking forward to both these matches.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the same thing. I agree with you on that. So, like, we'll see what happens. Also, we're going to see next week Ginny against Emilia McKenzie. We saw a promo by Ginny because they were walking, doing some media work with, like, also Joseph Connors. And then we see Emilia McKenzie training with Meiko Satomura. It's like, when are you going to, like, start writing those cocktails for her? When are you going to start playing second fiddle? There you go. So, like, they're going to have the match. And Emilia McKenzie, I see the potential is just, I don't think she has a character yet. Just very bland, plain. Just Emilia McKenzie, that's all she is. Like, they don't see, like, maybe, like she's like a top baby face or like she has this character. It's just like Emilia McKenzie. It's just very ordinary.
She's just Maiko's student. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's all it is. But, I mean, the match is probably going to be good, and if Emilia goes over, then maybe at some point, hey, you can do student against, teacher, right? You can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe see that it has an opportunity, so that will be interesting to see also. And Sam Gradwell against Mark Andrews. So it's going to be a pretty decent show also. Now, we haven't seen Eva Valkyrie. We're going to see some of the guys, the girls. But at least it's going to be decent. This is probably going to be the opening match. Sam Gradwell against Mark Andrews. And like I said before, they need to win that. Gradwell needs to win that match regardless. So, Paul, let's talk about the main event. Gallus Boys, Joe Coffey going against Jordan Devlin. We said, from the two, I think Jordan Devlin needs to win more. Why? Because like he lost this match with like the A-Kid. He's been like pretty much a mockery in this feud. He's been made fun of during this feud. But in the end, Joe Coffey is I guess one of like the main guys in NXT UK. And despite whatever he does, good or bad, they're gonna still have the faith in him. So he went over. So tell me a little bit about this match.
I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and I thought Devlin looked good, Coffey looked good, and even though Joe Coffey is one of those guys who, he's real muscular, he's not very tall. So, in this match with Jordan Devlin, they matched up pretty good, and I enjoyed this, but we saw Gallus out there. They didn't get involved, so I'm like, okay, this is fine, no big deal. And, I mean, it was good. I really had no issue with it up until the end. The only part is really at the end when Gallus got involved, and that led to Coffey getting the win, and then Jordan Devlin looks like an idiot, and I'm like, is he a baby face or is he like? It was almost like they're like a group of they're the baby faces, and they outsmarted the moron heel, and then the heel is standing there in the middle of the ring like like he shit his pants, and they're all laughing at him like ha ha ha, when in reality they should be the group of heels and he should be the baby face, or if he's the heel, he should have went over and beat them. I don't know. This just seemed all over the place. It just seemed weird. I hate that like a good match is just ruined by this, and I shouldn't even say ruined. I mean, if you like Joe Coffey, you're probably like, oh, what the hell's the issue here? I don't understand what he's crying about. But I just think like we saw Joe Coffey in this picture. I mean, we didn't see him one-on-one against Dragunov for the belt. That's not a matchup that we've seen, but it's he's been in that mix. It's like, why not put Jordan Devlin in that mix instead?
Yeah, especially because, like you said, he's heel. And then, Jordan Devlin is the heel, so it will be a good feud between him and Dragunov. But no, like I don't like the fact that like Gallus got involved because, again, like you said, it's baby faces, and also like the heel didn't have anybody.
Especially over the stupidest shit. Like they had his sunglasses on, and they're like, yee, and he's like, oh, those are my glasses. Like, dude, if you're rich, just buy a new pair.
Yeah, like exactly. So like you get distracted by that. It's pretty similar to what we saw last night with like Fuego del Sol and Miro. All of a sudden, boom, that's what it is. So in the end, like we got to see the bell, what is it said, the Glasgow standoff.
Yeah,
and then the rest of the bells, 1, 2, 3, he gets the win. They celebrate. Joe Coffey closes the show. We'll see what's really next for him because after the A-Kid, maybe he could be the one that goes against Dragunov. I don't see him winning the NXT UK Championship right away. But like these guys need more guys that can go against them. Meaning like Symbiosis will never be up to their level, but they need other group. Like in this case will be Imperium, but Walter is said to like just move permanently to the United States. He got divorced. That was the main reason that he didn't want to move to the United States. Now he actually did get divorced. So we're not gonna have Imperium anymore in the NXT UK. So but that will be for example Gallus against Imperium. They even had that a little bit, with all the tag teams and everything. That could be good, but unfortunately these three don't have another trio that can match them. So that's why they suffer, and they're not like the main event or the talent that they should be pushed. NXT UK. But family, thank you so very much. This is NXT UK review. Don't forget tomorrow we'll be live for SmackDown because Jean Paul mentions the draft is tomorrow. It starts. A lot of things, maybe saying Drew McIntyre to SmackDown, Bobby Lashley to SmackDown, so they can, relive their feud on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns can go to Monday Night Raw. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of things. It starts tomorrow, so we'll be live to be talking about every single thing. But Paul, before we do that, where else can they find us?
And guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Rig on Facebook, the OG Rope Rig on Twitter, Original Rope Rig on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Rig.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...